It's working. I haven't done much filming recently. I'm not going to go into details, but I'm taking a medication that basically turns me into a zombie. And I'm just so damn tired. I can't be bothered to do anything. But as a result of my tiredness, and I have always said that I think laziness is actually a great thing to have, because you will always find a shortcut if you're lazy. I didn't have much in the fridge, so tonight is all about freeforming, and I just want to show you some ideas about freeforming when you're cooking. I've decided that I'm going to make a curry. The first thing I want you to see, this is, so I roasted a couple of chickens earlier this week, because believe it or not, chickens are cheaper than the cat food that the cats love. So I now buy 2 chickens. I usually cut the breasts off and save those for us to eat. I roast the rest, and then I will use the bones to make stock. But also when I roast it, you get this lovely stock at the bottom, and then the schmaltz or the chicken fat at the top. So I'm going to cook a curry tonight. Instead of using either ghee or butter, I'm going to use that as my cooking fat. The layers of flavour for doing a curry, if I just stick to my same rules, I'm just chucking anything in that I want. So I usually start off with some whole seeds to flavour the oil. I've got some, this is just 2 chicken breasts, but I've sliced them thinly, and they have been marinating only for 15 minutes in a mixture of salt, cumin, coriander, and what's the yellow one? Turmeric. And some pepper. I will just brown that very quickly. So these, when they go in the pan at the end, won't need long to cook, but it just means that you can feed 4 from just 2 chicken breasts. Because the other thing that I'm going to do with this curry is a lot of using up. I've got some red peppers that you can see. I can't decide what I want to throw in at the end, because I do have some cavolo nero, but I've also got some spinach, so I might throw some spinach in at the end. So once I've browned the chicken and taken that out, you'll see it, I'll show you. The other thing that I always mix up before I start, which is here, I'll take it off, in my little blender, I always start off with some ginger and garlic. I don't bother peeling the ginger, you don't need to do it, and I will put a splash of water in that and whiz it so that it's a paste. The next, so I will, oh look, I won't say any more. I'll do it and you can see. The first thing I'm going to do is, so I've melted the chicken fat. It could be natural flavoured oil, it could be ghee. I am just using my lovely schmaltz, because why wouldn't you if it's free food? So these will go in on a medium-high heat. In fact, I'm going to turn that up a bit. And I'm just going to brown them on each side. You can see how thin these pieces of breast are. Normally when I do a curry, I do use the leg meat, but tonight's curry is all about winging it, and this is what I had in the fridge, so that's what we're using. Just a couple of minutes on each side. You can see there's nice colour on there. Chicken's out. I've now got some seeds. I'm going to put the seeds in literally for 30 seconds. You've got to be careful they don't burn till they start popping. The seeds are popping. I'm putting in the onions. I'm going to lower the light, and I'm going to cook the onions until they're nice and soft. This is the garlic and ginger that's been whizzed up into sort of a rough chopped paste with some water. I'm going to add that to the pan. I'm just going to give that a couple of minutes. If when you're cooking it smells like something is burning or it looks like it's drying out, I would normally add water from a freshly boiled kettle. But tonight I've still got this lovely stock sitting in this jug. So if I needed it, I would put this in. I'm going to put some in later anyway. So the garlic and ginger is now cooked for a couple of minutes. I haven't measured anything out. I have just put in, teaspoon wise, I've put in some cumin, coriander, Kashmiri chili. I've also put in some garam masala and turmeric. And now that's going to go in. And this is the time where the pan might dry out. I'm going to cook my spices just for a minute. Next thing going in is a tin of chopped tomatoes. Give it a stir. Tomatoes have come to the boil. I am actually going to put a couple of tablespoons of the stock, or you could use just hot water. It's just I can't bear waste, so I'm using up the stock. I'm going to melt that down. I'm also going to put in, because I've got it in the fridge, a couple of tablespoons of Greek yogurt. All of this is, if you haven't got Greek yogurt, doesn't matter, just don't use it, just use the tomatoes. Maybe put in some cream if you've got some cream. Remember that tomatoes are acidic. And then lastly, that will have a good stir. I had in the freezer these really tiny chilies, which we grew last year. So I'm going to use a lot of these because they're so small. But if you have a couple of just long chilies, take the stalk off and pierce them. And I'm putting them in whole. And then I'm going to leave this to just simmer away for 20 minutes. I've just remembered that I had these red peppers that I cut up, completely forgot, found them on the side. So I'm going to pop those in now as well. It'll be like a jalfrezi, I guess. To the onions, I added blitzed up ginger and garlic. Then I added some more ground spices, whatever spices you like, put them in, and some salt. Then I added a tin of chopped tomatoes, a couple of tablespoons of Greek yogurt, or you could use natural yogurt. And then I've put in some red peppers simply because I had those in the fridge. I've also got some chicken that I'm going to, it's chicken breast, which I'm just going to slide in at the end. No measuring here. I've just put in, I've got about enough rice that I think will be for 2 people. I've got some water boiling, not measured out. It's got salt in. The rice is going to go in and I'm going to bubble that for 10 minutes. Then I'm going to take it out and steam it. Just while I'm putting this curry together, I need to talk to you about, I've picked the label off so you can't see, but this is made by Bart, who make all of the lovely, they package up all the lovely spices. This is the one I use the most. It's actually in a grinder and it's garam masala. So it is all of the roasted spice that you have in garam masala, garam masala. So when you finish cooking your curry, you can do a grind of this lovely fresh spices onto your curry. Yes, I've had a glass of rosé. Second stage of cooking the rice, I have tipped the rice into just a colander, which is over hot water, which is over a low light, putting a lid on it, and I'm going to steam it for 8 minutes. Last stage, you'll see that the sauce, the longer you cook it, the darker it gets. That's absolutely fine. And the sauce is what's called a masala. So we've got the chicken that we cooked off to start with. I'm just going to put all of that back in with its juices. That is not going to take long, probably no more than 5 minutes to warm through. Looks and smells delicious. I love an extra bit of acidity right at the end. So at this point, you're going to check your seasoning. It's a tomato-based curry, so it might have enough acidity, but I just love a lovely little extra squeeze of lemon at the end, which I will put in now. Little squeeze of lemon. Then you could finish it with some coriander, but I happen to have some spinach in the fridge, so I'm actually just going to sit a load of spinach on the top and just let it wilt before I eat it. And that's it. It's going to be delicious. I am finishing this curry off, so I've slipped the chicken in. The chicken has just gone into the sauce. It's only going to take a couple of minutes to heat. I've put in a squeeze of lemon, some spinach on the top, and I'm going to serve it with rice. Yum. Finishing touch with my Bart grinder, garam masala going on the top. Done.